Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast, Aesthetically Messy. As you can see in the title, I'm gonna talk about my fighting experiences. It's not going to be a long video because I don't have that many. But on last week's episode, I said that I hadn't been in a fight since elementary school. And a lot of a lot of people took that as me not having any fighting experiences when it's not true. Even though it has been a long time since the last time I was in a fight, I 100% believe that if I were to get into a fight now at my 20s, I will know what to do. Because let me explain. Every time I was in a fight before, I was fighting with someone who was, either older or bigger than me. And every single time I would be the other person in like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. Like it will be like super quick. I wouldn't have any hits on me. So I don't know what it feels like to be punched in the face or in the stomach. Like I never experienced that because every time I was in a fight, I finished it as soon as possible. So with that context, let me get started in like what my fighting experiences are. The first one, well, actually, actually now I'm reading the stories. All three of these they happened on the same year. I was on fifth grade. I transferred schools to one closer to me because my parents were like struggling financially because before I had to take like a bus. And in Mexico, you don't have like a free bus. You had to find your own mean of transportation to go to the school. So I had to take a bus. I had to take two buses to get to the school I used to go, right? And my parents, they went through a period of time where they were struggling for money. So I had to transfer to a school that was closer to me, but that it had like a bad reputation. And instead of taking a bus, I had to walk to the school, which it wasn't that bad. It was like 10-20 minutes away. But anyways, when I transferred to those schools, I had a lot of fights. I didn't know anyone. I think I only knew like one person who was my neighbor, and we were friends. But besides that, I didn't know anyone. Everyone was new to me. The professors, I remember that there was two professors that didn't like me for some reason. The cleaning lady, she also hated me. Like everyone there was mean. Everyone there. I was a little kid. I still remember what I went through. Like I was a little kid, and I still remember that the adults in that school, they were mean. Like they were mean, not just to me, but like to everyone. So that school was not a good experience for me. But I only had to stay there for a year before my parents got back in their feet. So the first story, it was with a guy named David. I still remember his name because that that experience, I'm still proud of it. The way I handled that situation. He basically, I don't know, he hated me for some reason. I don't think I'm hateable at all. Like especially as a kid. As a kid, I was so cute. I was friendly. I was cute. I was a good kid. And I remember that we used to have a lot of friends in common. And I remember that every time that we were playing together, and we had to be like in the same team, he went out of his way to make it obvious that he didn't want to be with me. Like he would groan or like make sounds to make, or be like, damn, can I change, or shit like that, just to, so that everyone knew that he didn't fuck with me. And I remember that I didn't care because I was friends with everyone, like everyone in the friend group, even though I met them later in life than David. We were at the same level pretty much. Like they liked me as much as they liked David. So the rest of the people, like, they didn't join in whenever he did that. So it was just him like making himself look like a bitch. But anyways, he did that for, I would say, like 3 months, 2 months. And there was one time where I don't remember the context. I just remember the fight itself, but it was during recess. And I remember that I was in like the tables, right? Like where people eat. And he ran up to me, like he told me that he wanted to fight and that he didn't like me and everything like that. So he like stepped back, and then he like started running towards me, like he was gonna like tackle me basically. And I remember that he did that, and he made everyone watch, right? And I was so scared because I didn't want to like make a fool of myself. But the good thing is that I didn't freeze, right? Like I grabbed both of the tables, like, I put my hands on the tables, and then I lifted myself up, and then I kicked when he got close to me. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like, I lifted and then I kicked, and I kicked him like straight in the chest, right? And since he was running like so fast at me, like to tackle me, he ended up falling to the ground, and he and he had like the soles of my shoes in like his shirt, and it was a white shirt, so like you can see it clearly. And then he fell down. I don't know. I don't think that he cried, but I know that he fell down, and then I feel bad, so I helped him up. But that ended the fight, like quickly. Like I don't, it's not even called a fight. So I helped him up, and then I think that he felt ashamed about that. So like he didn't even try to like hit me or do anything to me after that. I remember that after that he started to be friendly towards me. I don't think he was scared because he was like twice my size. Like he was a bigger kid. He was taller and he was chubby, and I was skinny back then. So he could have taken me out anytime. Just one punch, that's all it took to take me out. And the thing is, after I did that, everyone in the school, or I guess everyone in my classroom, they started acting more friendly towards me. And my friends, they will sometimes go out of their way to like have me on their team. So I felt good about like that the whole experience. And even though that fight ended in a good note, I still, David, if you're watching this, fuck you. Like I didn't do anything to you, and you were a bitch to me. So you're a bitch, and I hate you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was gonna say I'm just kidding, but no, you're a bitch. And after that, I remember that I didn't have any bad experiences for the rest of the year, pretty much, until like the last couple months. There was one kid who was in an older year, and he was friends with the most popular guy in the school, but he was more like a sidekick basically. Like he wasn't good looking at all, he didn't have that many friends, but he was close to the guy that was the most popular, like the one that all the girls wanted. And for that reason I feel like that's why he also felt like he was like the shit. But anyways, that kid, since he was one of the popular ones, he felt like he could do anything he wanted. So he will bully everyone, right? He will call people nicknames, he will be aggressive whenever he played with anyone, and he will push people and then put one of his foot like behind them so that they will fall. I don't know if that makes sense. And when it came to me, I remember that the last couple of months, we didn't have any interactions until I started talking to the guy that was, the most popular. Like we were friends, so we kind of had to interact with him a little bit. And for the most part, it was fine because as pretty much as long as I can remember, one of my biggest fears was being someone's bitch. So when it came to that guy, like I would go out of my way to not be close to him, like to not interact with him. But there was one time where we had to talk to each other, and he was talking like down on me. Like he was calling me, my name is Jose, right? And the feminine version of it is Josefina or Josefa. One of those two, like can be like the feminine version. And he would call me that. Like he started calling me that, and I think he did it for 3 days. And at first, he was only doing it whenever he was talking to me, like one on one. But then he went out of his way to do it like in front of people, and that's when I was like, "Bitch, I'm not, I'm not dealing with that." So I remember one day, right when school ended, and our parents had to pick us up because in Mexico there's no transportation, there's no free transportation provided by the school. So the parents had to pick you up and then they had to drop you off too. So, my parents were there, my mom was there. And I remember that he called me that like when I was walking towards my mom, right? And I was like, damn, bitch, like, why the fuck are you doing this right now? And I remember that I got so mad at that. And I think that's one of the moments that I felt like the most anger in my whole life. So I just turn around and then I start running towards him. So I get in his face, right? And then he's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Because he was taller than me. And then he grabs my head like I don't like in a lock. I don't know what's the name of it. And when he did that, I threw myself back like towards the ground. And so that both of us would fall, right? And then when we were both in the ground, I started choking him, and I was like, "Say my name!" Like I was so fucking mad. I remember that moment. I was so mad. I was like, "Say my name! I dare you to call me Josefa again." And I felt bad, so I stopped choking him. And then I remember that instead of getting up and ending it, I I took my thumbs and I don't know why I'm laughing because it's not funny. But I took my thumbs and then I like started like squishing his eyes. But I was a little kid. Like I didn't have that strength to like actually push his eyes like inside his head. But I remember that that's what I wanted to do, right? And then he was trying to get up, but my whole weight was on top of him, so he couldn't do anything. But then my mom and his mom, like they got between us, and my mom like picked me up, and then his mom started crying because it was a traumatic experience. Like I took it too far, but at the same time he was bullying me for a week, pretty much, right? So I do feel sorry, like I like the Tom situation, like that was too far. But the choking, like he can deserve it. I'm not gonna apologize for them, for the Tom. His eyes were okay, by the way. Just for the record, he was completely fine. But yeah, the Tom situation, like that was something that I have never done ever since. Cause that's too far. Like being so angry that you want someone to go blind. Like, I don't know, I never felt that way until, that moment. But after that, I remember that my mom, like, she was mad at me, obviously, but then I told her like what was going on, and she was okay with it, because she's someone that always told me that I shouldn't be, bullied. I shouldn't have anyone like take advantage of me. So she was understanding about the situation. Like, she still got mad at me about choking and, the tongue, but I didn't get any real problem, because I don't know. It was no, like, there wasn't any long term damage, right? I don't know why, but the guy's mom didn't take any action towards me. Like, she didn't, talk to the school board or anything. So, I didn't get in any trouble with the school either. I didn't get suspended. I was a little kid, so nothing happened to me. And after that, that guy, he didn't fuck with me ever again. And we were actually friends. Like, he wouldn't call me any names. He would have nicknames for everyone in my classroom except for me. So, it was nice. I was friendly towards him. He was friendly towards me. So I feel like it had like a happy ending. I still remember his name too. His name was Salvador, I think, no, it was Salvador. I was gonna say Santiago, but no, it was Salvador, which means savior in English. So yeah, no, he was pretty cool. Like, I actually like him, except before, that. So Salvador, if you're watching this, love you. You're keep being you. So in conclusion, in both fights that I was in, they ended in, a good note. I was friends with both of them. But even if we hadn't been friends afterwards, I was the one who won. Like, it was one sided, 100%. I was the one who, ended up on top. So even if we weren't friends, like, I knew they wouldn't fuck with me anymore. So yeah, I guess it had a happy ending. It had a happy ending on both of those stories. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I want to make a quick one because in last week's episode, I made myself look like I didn't know anything, and maybe this doesn't change anything, but in my head it does. You know what you have to deal with if you ever see me in the street and you decide to get in a fight with me. I know what to do. I can handle myself. It's been what, like 10, 15 years, but I still have some moves. I still know for sure that I'm gonna win. So I just want to clarify that you shouldn't I was gonna say you shouldn't fuck with me, but no, you shouldn't underestimate me. So yeah, now you know better. Now you know better. Now you know who you're dealing with. And if you're a content creator and you wanna bot me, I mean, I'm down. Like, I know that I'm not gonna lose. My track record so far is 2-0, so I'm undefeated. Like, and that's not gonna change. That's not going to change ever. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I know that I've been pushing Discord a lot, but the thing is, I needed to make videos with you. For example, the whole episode about red flags, that was stuff that you told me. So I need to have like a way to communicate with you. So if you want to participate, either talking to me directly or texting me or whatever, uh, Discord is the only way where I can do it. Because I don't know, I don't feel comfortable talking to people like one on one. So yeah, it has to be like a group situation. So yeah, so if you want to help me with like ideas for either podcast or videos, you can do it through there. The bigger the community it is, the easier it's going to be for me to make videos, and it's also going to be faster for me to do it. So yeah, I hope that we're able to grow as a community in there. I'm gonna try to talk more. So you can also like text me if you don't care about the videos and you only want to talk to me. I'm also going to be open for that. So yeah, yeah.